Hi guys, it's Shanny with Healing Elements coming to you again at Braley Park, beautiful park that is right by my home. This time at night. I come here often at night, but have never filmed here. But the last couple of days, last 48 hours, I wanted to talk about, just because, I'm all about being authentic on my channel. As you know, I do spiritual, videos of any kind, topics of any kind that have to do with spiritual awakening, astrological tarot reads every month. I was just tearing up because of what the video is about. And one of my goals has been to add more personal testimonies, right, to Shanny Testifies. List about, me personally, just getting to know me, just putting myself out there as authentic as I can about different subjects. So, since this personally affected me so much, I wanted to talk about it. I don't know how long this video will be, but, it's, of course, about the loss that I feel, and also I can feel the collective mourning for Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace, and his daughter, who was 13, who died along with him in a helicopter crash, including other people and the pilot. So, I wanted to talk about, of course, that in general. It's big, profound loss to some of us, and I wanted to talk about, in general, the concept of death. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, the loss that we feel toward, of course, people who are close to us and maybe we had a disconnection with, or that we are not perhaps close in this lifetime with, tangibly, physically, but perhaps through the media or through, a medium like this, sports, perhaps, somebody like Princess Diana or somebody in the past has meant a lot to you that had been in the spotlight, in the limelight, some sort of, fame or infamy, and you have felt the loss. So to be honest with you, of course, myself growing up, I talk a lot about on my channel, but if you've never been here, or perhaps just to elaborate my inner passion, not because anybody told me to. My dad was big on sports, and I grew up like that as an only child, a girl, right? And he had no sons, and it's like, yes, that was part of him and his core and influence. But my youngest daughter, my daughters do not want anything to do with sports. So I think it's like an actual inclination that I've always had, and it's not the competitiveness or anything like that. It's actually the opposite, the camaraderie that I feel is associated with team sports. And so, as you may or may not know, going to my channel, my dad has passed away 2011, and so just being his best friend, of course, still the afterlife, part of me spiritually. However, it goes without saying that I feel a great connection. Not only did I grow up in Southern California, where he raised me, we were big Laker fans. Kobe Bryant was a Laker player. And so I assume that certain deaths of, again, infamous people, celebrities, are going to affect us all differently. But I have to say, this did shock me as far as how profoundly I've been inclined to just, tear up on my own, doing my day-to-day tasks or whatnot, just thinking very, very emotionally, watching videos on YouTube. I normally don't do that, saturate myself with something. But it really overcame me, the effect of somebody young that had a connection personally to me. Also, like my dad, bringing me up as a Laker fan and just telling me all stats, and his only daughter just saying, hey, what's the difference between Michael Jordan and Kobe as far as this stat and this and that. And so, it's still wrenching in my heart. So this is just a video to kind of authentically explain that's what kind of a person I am. Usually no one, of course, knows about it. I'll try to, of course, say something to my family, friend, my mom, or something like that about, the way I'm feeling, but I don't go on and on. I've learned to kind of not go on and drench people with that Pisces, but no, don't you understand how much I care and I'm hurting. So this video is not to be like, oh, yay me, I'm so affected. Nah, it's just to reach out and say, if any of you have ever been affected, even if this is somebody I don't know that has been an importance to you, that is not, again, tangibly connected or physically your family or somebody who you were around but you looked up to. Again, the example comes to my head, the last time I really felt like that devastating loss, like what a shame the world has to go without this entity, was the Princess Diana, and I was very young at the time, her death. So just, Kobe Bryant, since I do astrology and think it's such an important emphasis, he was a Virgo. So Kobe has been probably mentioned a few times in the last 2 years since I've been doing this on YouTube and getting videos out. Definitely mentioned that in private readings when you have a Virgo. I just feel like he's a very quintessential example, someone who I, despite not knowing him in this physical world, I feel that he had a lot of lessons that, because he was in the limelight, were brought to us by media, and some of them are the lessons that I preach about on this channel that a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people had asked me after his death, wasn't he in trouble for ABC? Didn't he diss his wife and do this? It's like, you know what? We should focus on his essence as a totality. He may have ran into setbacks, including like his Achilles injury, and just, being so able and still ready to play basketball, but unable to because of the injury. There's just so many things that he overcame, and that I think is the biggest thing. I wanted to just pledge my appreciation for people who are not afraid to keep going, keep that drive, that passion, that exuberant passion for succeeding, for overcoming things of that nature, for owning up and taking accountability for things. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just, sweep it under the rug, or, go hide under a rock if something like that happens to them and they're in the limelight and they just don't want to deal with, overcoming that adversity. So I just wanted to speak about how much emotionally, I was surprised. I'm surprised at myself, because it does feel like I've lost, a family member, like a distant cousin or something, only because, again, of the connection I have of growing up, and a personal, sport lover just sits in me. I love and probably know more about, sports players and things that are going on perhaps in their life or their team more than any kind of pop culture subject. It's one of my passions, that I watch football, basketball, baseball, more, basketball and football. And it's just really meaningful to me. I love that. I'm at the park and I hear kids still coming late and playing on the playground. So I just wanted to bring that to you and say it's so amazing. The videos I've been watching, I saw, if you want to look up Doc Rivers, oh my gosh, when he first found out, just so emotional and amazing to see just such a masculine man at a loss for words, just utterly affected by this tragedy. And today I watched a whole bunch of other videos, including like Stephen A. Smith, and I saw the Shaq, of course Shaq and Kobe played on the Lakers together wearing the purple. Shout out to Lakers, and all my heart is with anybody who is affected, especially his wife and family. I cannot understate how much I can't imagine suffering tremendous loss and having to plan a double funeral for a sweetie pie. It's so young, 13 years old. His daughter passed away, but I just wanted to show my appreciation, my condolences in this way, even if anybody not connected watches. If any of you felt or feel like I do, again, I surprise myself. I'm not too big on, any kind of celebrity or infamous person's death. I may be affected, be sad, but in this case, I wrote a card out today. I'm going to send it, whether or not anyone reads it. I'm going to send it down to the Staples Center. I just really feel the loss. I feel the collective loss. And so again, back to watching the videos, Shaquille O'Neal and him played on the Lakers. When I was a young girl, I would watch them, and his video, I did not know, shout out and condolences, I did not know Shaq just lost his sister to cancer. So he was speaking on how, what a devastating loss that it was to find out this tragedy about, his teammate, Kobe. And he was just expressing himself, I think, really eloquently about something that I feel we all need to remind ourselves to push further and actually act upon rather than just talk about. It's easier said than done, but the person that you may have lost contact with, or the person in general that's popping in your mind right now, go and spend time with them before it's too late. Tragedies happen, life is precious. Shaq was just speaking on how he just wishes, and he was getting so emotional and very, very authentically expressing himself about if he could go back in time, of course, with his dad, his sister, and Kobe, it would be so, in retrospect, it would be so, easy to make time for these individual relationships before it's too late. So my shout out and just appreciation for anyone who else is feeling particularly sad about this loss definitely hit me harder again than I thought that it would. Just shocked, and I've still been waking up in the morning, ironically, with that, really sad, terrible dread where you wake up and you're like, oh, should I remember that happened? So I just, again, wanted to share, the love I had specifically for this person, Kobe Bryant's tenacious, value and the way that he was able to reset and, come back from anything and just drive and work hard. And for all of, the people who looked up to him as somebody that they could strive to be. So many people in the NBA, emulate Michael Jordan, or he can't imagine how my birthday buddy, Steph Curry, March 14th, we're both born on, how he feels. Just so many people, I think, were influenced in a positive way. And when you influence and empower people and encourage, even if it's leading by example, I think it's such a beautiful thing. And I think that people need to be shouted out and, have given tribute to. So my heart and soul, I'm surprised I didn't cry, but I think that when I do this, it's almost like speaking memorial. You really want to just show the exuberance and the happiness that their spirit represented to you. So, crying before this video, watching the, many tributes was beautiful and emotional, but I wanted to just get that out there. And again, it's not typical on this channel or for me a way to speak publicly about a celebrity loss or anything like that, but it means something to me, and I know it means something to so many more people out there. So blessings, love, and light. Call me if you know me and we haven't kicked it, or if we've lost touch. I want to make that pledge too, to try to bridge that gap. Been into the spiritual awakening journey, so it can become very, very personal, and you can become independently happy just being by yourself. But it's no joke. My grandmother, bless her heart, her birthday was the 25th of January. She ended up going to the hospital again, suffering through a lot of major heart trauma. Just had open heart surgery a month back, like in December. So it's pretty crazy that I'm thinking about that in my own, perspective, spending more time, and wow, how years float by, and, need to make more effort personally. So hopefully you guys will be encouraged to do that as well. Blessings, love, and light, guys. As always, thank you. This is, again, candid, totally on the fly video, threw this sweatshirt on and ode, though, wear my purple. Kobe Bryant, you are going to be sorely missed. The effect must be devastating. That's an understatement for your family and friends who personally knew you. So just shout out to anybody else who are feeling these kind of vibes and who may mourn for somebody else, a celebrity that passed away that means something so much to you personally. I celebrate that. I honor that. I think it's a beautiful thing when we are encouraged and we love people through the universe, even if we've never met them. So blessings, love, and light, guys. And I will end this Shanny Testifies with that note. Okay? Shout out.